Hey everybody, welcome to another Star Wars Black Series.net Toy Talk review. This time around we're taking a look at the Luke Skywalker Bespin Fatigues, figure number 11. This is really the third wave over all of the line, but the first wave of 2014. Hasbro is labeling the 2014 figures as new waves, as you can tell by the sides of the boxes. It actually says Wave 1 2014, but to me it's really a Wave 3 Luke. The numbering stays the same. It still says number 11 Luke Skywalker down at the bottom there. And in this first wave of 2014, it still has the orange piping that runs along the back. The next two waves feature the blue piping that runs along the back. This wave is just now starting to hit at places like EntertainmentEarth.com online. It'll probably be a little bit of time before it's really hitting store shelves majorly. In the wave, we've got one figure of this Luke Bespin. We've got a Stormtrooper, an Episode 3 Obi-Wan, and then a re-release of the Wave 2 Han Solo to fill the 4th spot in the box. A lot of people are complaining about that Han coming back out again instead of being 2 Stormtroopers in a box. I can kind of understand that in that the Hans may start to mount up, but Han is a main character and he has sort of dried up from Wave 2, so hopefully we won't see too many Hans out there due to this. Luke, however, I think was going to sell great because this is an iconic look for Luke from The Empire Strikes Back. And it's overall a really, really solid figure. The packaging is the same as the first two waves. We've got the Star Wars Black Series logo, a drawn image of Luke as a headshot, a bubble that runs all the way along the side so you can look inside and see the back of the figure and have a really good view of what you're buying. As I said before, it says number 11 Luke Skywalker down below. And again, we don't get any designation as to Luke's outfits. We got that designation for Princess Leia and her slave outfit, but both Luke X-Wing and Luke Bespin don't have any designation down here. I think Hasbro might be missing the boat by not including that below, but that's just my opinion. Up along the top, we've got that same Star Wars Black Series logo with the headshot of Luke. We've got a completely black panel over here that's bouncing up and down on me. And then all the way around the back, we've got the Star Wars logo once again, number 11 Luke Skywalker. We've got a brief bit about Luke here, which says, Luke battles Darth Vader on a narrow platform in Cloud City and rejects Vader's urging to turn to the dark side and rule the galaxy with him. And then the quote from Luke here is, you'll find I'm full of surprises. And then we've got this muted image from the film of Luke holding his lightsaber in the midst of the Cloud City duel with Darth Vader. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this packaging is fantastic in my opinion. I love the fact that you can open it up and remove the figure and put it back in case you decide you want to display it in a box or if you want to have it loose. Whatever you want to do, as long as you keep the packaging, you can make it look exactly like it did when you bought it, with the exception of cutting the tape. But I myself am a loose collector, so let's get Luke out of there and take a look at him. Here we have Luke out of the box. Alright, let's start with the accessories and then we'll move on to the articulation, the sculpt, kind of comparison type stuff. He comes with 2 offensive weapons, his blaster, which is actually a different sculpt than the one that came with Han. Here's the Han one. As you can see, the scope is totally different on it. The shape of the gun is completely different. It's a nice detail that they caught in that you don't just repackage a Han blaster with Luke Bespin and call it a day. You give him a new sculpt. Paint detail on this is really nice. It's got a silver muzzle and then the brown the brown handle. This all fits right into his holster, and it's got a little strap that goes over it and can plug into the side to hold it in. It's really tough to do this from behind a camera. I'm not going to be able to get that strap down, but it's a nice fit. It's nice and tight. It's not going to be flopping all over the place or falling out of there. Well done accessory. His lightsaber is different as well from the first wave Luke X-Wing figure. Get the blade back on. I already popped it off of here. It's not a lot of differences in the handle, but there are slight tweaks in there between the releases. Not enough that maybe you could even pick it up in this video. Maybe side by side in the picture you'll be able to see the differences between the 2 handles, but there are some differences. The main difference, obviously, is the blade color. The Luke X-Wing blade is very blue, whereas the Luke Bespin blade has sort of a frosty blue look to it, almost like a whitish blue. And I think they did a much better job with the blade on this one than they did this one. This one feels a lot like a toy, reminds me of the old Power of the Force 2 original figures in the coloring. This one really kind of is trying to evoke the look of the film. It's interesting that they did that this early on between the 2 lightsabers, and I'm almost tempted to pick up an extra Luke Bespin just for this lightsaber to put it with my Luke X-Wing. Just like the first lightsabers, this pops right off, the blade does, and the hilt has a little tiny hook that you can then hook his lightsaber onto, so you can carry all his weapons with him, even though Yoda tells him you don't really need them. Sculpt-wise, it's really, really good, I think. Luke Bespin is one of my favorite outfits from the entire trilogy. This is captured perfectly here. The detailing, the folds, the creases, the paintwork that gives it that slightly dirty look. I think that Hasbro just really did a fantastic job capturing this look of Luke. The head sculpt is actually different than the first Luke head sculpt as well. It's got a more aged look to Luke and sort of battle-hardened after his battle with the Wampa. The hair coloring is a bit different between the two Lukes. You can see this has more of a brownish tint to it. And this has almost like an, okay, don't fall on me here. This has more of almost an orange look to it when you see them side by side. The head sculpt, I think, on this is a little closer to Mark Hamill than this one is this time around. And the difference here, too, is that this one was painted flesh and this one is molded in flesh tone. Now, the molded flesh tone on Han got to be a little bit shiny and almost like a sweaty look, but that, I think, kind of works for Luke Bespin in that he's getting ready to go into a major battle, and maybe a little bit of sweat and grime look to him kind of works. Articulation-wise, we've got a ball-jointed head. It's mounted on a ball, and then it's also got a swivel that goes up and down. Then we've got a shoulder that swivels up and down and then hinges out. We've got an elbow that swivels and then also hinges up and down. We've got that wrist joint that is actually the same on this time around. We've got the swivel and then it goes up and down. We've got a really nice hidden ball-jointed torso that's hidden by the jacket line. I just really, really like the way they did that. You can't even tell it's there when it's standing there, but it really helps in posing. On the hips, it goes up and down and then also swivels out. We've got a swivel at the top of the hip. We've got a double-jointed knee, and then we've got an ankle that has that sort of Marvel Legends rocker ankle to get some really good kind of wide-legged stances going on. So it's kind of rockers back and forth and then also moves up and down. Really, really well done on the articulation on these figures. And I think Luke Bespin is one of the best ones so far to really hide the joints, not let it compromise the sculpt. Just looks really, really good. Alright, let's look at him in scale with some of the other figures in the line. Now, Luke is one of the shorter characters, and it shows when you compare him to characters like Han Solo. Put him right here. I'll probably have to pull the camera back a little bit. Do we get Han all the way in there? No, he sort of fits. We'll go up just a little bit. There's Han. And then we've got R2-D2, who I think is a little bit incorrect scale-wise to begin with. But there he is next to R2. They look good together. You can get some good Bespin scenes going on with the two of those. We've already seen him next to the original Luke. But just in case, we'll throw him in there one more time. The scale on these two is pretty nice. Like, they're trying to stay consistent between the two Lukes, it looks like, and they're almost exactly the same height, which is well done. I'm kind of tempted, too, to see what this head would look like on this body to get more of an older Luke. I feel like this really evokes A New Hope, and this is really an Empire head sculpt. So, there we go. Overall, I really, really love this figure. I think that it's a superior Luke to the Luke X-Wing. Even though I like the Luke X-Wing a lot, this is one of my favorite Luke outfits, and it's just a really, really well done version of him. I'm excited about seeing more of the Bespin outfits, like Bespin Han. I think it would be really cool to put with this figure, Bespin Leia. I really can't wait to get a Vader to pose with him. He's just awesome. This and Luke Jedi are my two favorite Lukes, so I'm really happy to get them so early in the line, since we have Luke Jedi coming already. If you want to see some still pictures of him, you'll be able to hit the info section over at StarWarsBlackSeries.net to check out still pictures of him. And I think that about wraps it up. We've got a lot more reviews to cover, so we're going to try and crank these out as fast as we can before the next wave comes barreling through. So keep up with it over at StarWarsBlackSeries.net and subscribe to the channel, and hope you guys stick with us. Alright, thanks. Bye.